Hello, my loves. So, I wanted to come here and make this video because it hit me today that I just wanted to say don't make any decisions from any other place besides complete clarity, truth, like absolution. Like, it has to ring bells. It has to feel right in every part of your being. And if it doesn't, it will just come down to you selling yourself short. And the reason why I wanted to say this was because I did a reading on myself yesterday, like I do every day. And I was asking about like my next apartment, like where would I be living, and stuff like that. And what came up for me was two cards that kind of worried me when they first came out, because it was grief, and it came out at like if you're reading a book from left to right, it came out in the right hand position. So a lot of the times when we do read tarot, a lot of the times it will be read from left to right. But there are sometimes some indicators within the tarot cards that kind of just signify which way it should be read. So in this case, to me, it was left to right. And grief came out in the left position. And then coincidentally, I wanted to clarify it. And then loss came out. And at first it worried me because I wasn't exactly sure what that meant. Was someone passing away and it was a good idea for me to not go into an apartment because that might kind of cause me to spiral or something? Like, you never really know. And then also what came out with grief was like Nine of Pentacles in reverse, and it was some other card too. And I can't really remember right now, but to me, it worried me because it signified to me that someone could possibly, I don't know, like stiff me as far as like going in and putting my money into an apartment. Like, even if it's just applying, you still have application fees. And that was the first message I got, but something told me to look deeper into the reverse meaning of the Nine of Pentacles. Now, we know Pentacles are always about material wealth, and particularly the Nine of Pentacles is a woman that pretty much, she's in a stage of her life where she's really in the middle of building an empire. She doesn't completely have one. She's not a Queen of Pentacles, but I would say the Nine of Pentacles is the state right before the Queen of Pentacles, and then of course you have the Empress. So also, not to mention, it's a single woman card. Like, that's really what it signifies to me. But when I happened to look up the meaning of Nine of Pentacles, it has a lot to do with self-worth. And something told me that it's not necessarily about possibly someone running off with my money and me not getting the apartment. It signified to me more about that I should take a step back and listen to myself and build up my self-confidence and my self-worth and my self-esteem before I go into looking for an apartment, because the energy that I was operating from was an energy of lack. And that, when I had read the reverse meaning, it finally started to make sense. And it's very much true. I feel like in this moment in time, I've been just looking for an apartment to get into. Like, I just really wanted to get out of the space that I'm in and get into my own space. And that was just the premise of me looking for an apartment. Like, I wasn't being intentional with it. And so Spirit wanted me to sit down and really get serious with myself and decide what things truly matter to you about an apartment. Start there. Like, what things will actually help you to become whatever goal that you're seeking beyond just getting an apartment. So I had sat down and I had really gotten serious about what things are important to me. And so I went and seen an apartment this morning, and I had pulled a couple cards beforehand before I went, just to ask Spirit, you know, what are the kinds of energies I can expect to experience. And really the cards were just telling me to really pay attention to what I was feeling in my spirit as I walked around the apartment, as I, you know, just what kind of things came up in my mind. And it stuck with me the entire time. So as soon as the realtor opened the door and I started to look at the steps going up, like, I couldn't help but to realize and to feel an energy of like, this does not align with me. This does not align with what I feel that I am worth. And I didn't feel, because, okay, so a little bit of backstory of what I'm trying to explain when it comes to why I was feeling that way. And it's because the pictures they had posted online, I won't say they were completely different, but they looked maybe how the apartment used to look in the past. Like, one of the main things I noticed in the images that they had posted was that on a balcony, the railing on the balcony was completely different. Now, that looked like it was more of a complex thing, because I did notice that all of them were changed out on all the apartments. So I was like, okay, cool. But however, that did change the aesthetic. I liked the aesthetic that I seen on the images prior to seeing the apartment in person. So that was red flag number one for me, for what began to really change my spirit. And as soon as the realtor opened the door and I started walking up the stairs with him, I had a rush of different mixed emotions that I was feeling. Like, the apartment itself, the layout, I loved. I absolutely loved it. But then I got upstairs and I looked at the kitchen. Everything was so outdated. Everything was so dirty. I mean, granted, you know, they still have to clean before, you know, they get it rented and whatnot. But they were showing it in such a state that I was kind of concerned for how they might treat me once I get into the apartment, right? So my mom has always told me, never allow people to come over into your house, into your space, without your space being to your standards of clean, and just pretty much just clean. That's just how I was raised. And so it really spoke volumes to me that these realtors were willing to allow people to come over and view the place in such a, it was pretty disgusting. I'm not even gonna lie. It was lint balls all over the place. And it just really looked like dirty. And not to mention, I ended up opening one of the cabinets and it was kind of just old and decrepit. Like, you know how stuff is when it's outdated. Like, this is literally like cabinetry from like the 70s or 80s that is still in that house. And countertops weren't even all that much matching. And it just didn't feel like a place that I wanted to call home. I've lived in much better spaces that were better than what I saw today. And so I had to do nothing but listen to my spirit and remind myself of the tarot reading from the prior day and from this morning. And spirit told me, you know, remember your self-worth and what is up to your standards. And so I just kept that thought in my mind, and I was just like, you know what? As much as I would like this place, I'm afraid of a couple different things, which was me renting out that place and then, I don't know, having to deal with them maybe never coming over to fix anything, because this is Arizona. And there are some places out here that will completely disregard tenant maintenance issues, or they will take their time to get around to doing it. Or even if your air conditioner goes out in the middle of summer, sometimes they still don't rush to get that stuff done. And something in my spirit told me that, I won't say that they were slumlords, but it just kind of seemed like, I don't know, maybe it was just a realtor, and you know, it wasn't really the people that was actually not selling, but like renting out the home. And so yeah, that was kind of troublesome to me. And yeah, I was definitely thinking to myself, like, I definitely don't want to have to deal with that. Also the lack of hospitality, I guess you could say, in the realtor. Like, he kind of just opened up the door and was just kind of like, do your thing. So it didn't take me much time. I literally took probably 5 minutes or less, and I walked around the place. It was just a 1-bedroom, but he didn't care to explain anything, show me anything. I had to like ask. And when it came down to the application, it was like he texted the information to me. And he almost didn't even tell me bye. I was like, bye, thank you, have a good day. And he was like, all right, bye. Like, you know, so these are the kinds of things that are important to me. First of all, customer service is always going to be important. And so all of this is to say, you know, we really have to listen to our spirit when it comes to making decisions. And don't do anything until you feel like you've had time to really get clear and have a sound mind, body, and spirit when you make decisions, because you could really get yourself into something that your body already gave you information about. And so yeah, I just wanted to just tell you about that little piece, just to let you know and let everybody out there know, you know, how important it is for us to listen to our bodies, listen to our minds and our spirits, because they really do have all the answers. And so thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. And I hope to have more pieces of wisdom for you. I will continue going, and you know, I hope that these videos reach somebody, anybody that, you know, needs these messages, because I think that sometimes we forget that you don't have to be psychic to have intuition. We all have intuition, and our bodies continuously give us messages all day, every day, about people, places, and things, because everything is vibrational, and we are vibrating here on this planet as well. And so we have to be more cognizant of what is aligning with our spirit, and try to make decisions based on our spirit. So, loves.